Hello. Welcome to my hostel horror story. Cue the music.
That burned my tongue. Hello everybody. So wasn't that the most overdramatic intro y'all have ever seen? So,
to be honest, this video has been requested quite a few times, but I didn't know how to go about it, and it's just a really interesting story, so I just didn't want to portray it in the wrong way.
Also, I didn't want women to be scared of staying in mixed rooms, so I kind of was iffy about posting this video, but just a disclaimer is that I never once felt unsafe during the situation. It was just a little bit of a weird hostel experience. So grab your cup of tea and let's begin. So once upon a time, I was in Dublin, Ireland, and for those of y'all that have stayed in Dublin, Ireland hostels, you probably know that the hostel situation is not the very best in Dublin. I usually try to book with all female rooms only, but in this case, I booked last minute. So the only option was a mixed gender room, and I had stayed in one or two other ones before, and I had completely positive experiences. So I decided to go ahead and book the mixed room hostel because the previous hostel I was staying at in Dublin, it was really weird. There's a housing shortage actually in Ireland, so people will live in hostels and jump from hostel to hostel. So I had just kind of had a pretty weird experience at the last hostel because people, again, were kind of just living there, and it was just a really unsocial atmosphere. And so I moved back to this hostel that I had originally stayed at, and so I got there and I was really excited to be there, and I met 3 of my roommates, and they were actually Americans, and they were really cool. We were hitting it off, we were talking. It was a brother, a sister, and a best friend. And if y'all are watching this video, hello. But yeah, so there was a guy staying underneath me. I was on the top bunk, and I had come into my room later that night, and I introduced myself to him, and he was very kind of strange. Like, he didn't really respond, and I was like, okay, maybe he's shy, he just wants to do his own thing, that's okay. Later I found out by my other roommates, he actually lives in hostels. He's an Irishman that lives in hostels and jumps from hostel to hostel. So this is essentially his home, and that was fine, okay? But yeah, so I kind of noticed right away that he had a certain odor about him. But again, it's a hostel, it's totally normal to have different odors, and you just kind of get used to it and you move along. But later that night, I was trying to fall asleep, and I was so tired, and I just hear like the bottom bunk just like moving. It's just moving really hard. I thought, oh, okay, he's just a turner, that's okay. And then, y'all, he started making really weird sounds, like that's literally how it sounded like. And y'all, like, I was a little bit kind of like, okay, this is a little weird. And then I just heard scratching, like literally, like I just spilled tea all over myself, but you just hear like these loud scratching sounds, and then my bed is just, it's just moving, like it's just like shaking. And at that point, I kind of figured out what was happening. I think this man, since he doesn't have a hostel room to stay at, he decided to pleasure himself underneath me. And So the sister in the room, she actually couldn't sleep because she heard the sounds too. So we were both kind of just, especially me, and so the other 3 people in the room were just dead asleep. And so her and I, we decided to go downstairs because we can't sleep, and we make a complaint to the desk, and they basically just said that there's no other rooms to give out and that they couldn't just wake him up because it would be waking up the whole room. And then, and you're not allowed to wake him up. So, and then the best friend and the brother actually end up coming downstairs to the lobby as well, and we all couldn't sleep at that point, and they still said that they couldn't wake him up and that they didn't have any rooms anywhere else. So it's kind of a frustrating situation, and so I was just like, whatever, I'm just gonna sleep in the kitchen here. Like, I don't care because I'm not about to deal with this. And he was just making really loud sounds. So we're all just trying to figure out a solution, but honestly, the front desk wasn't really any help. They were just kind of like, eh, whatever. And that would be really savage of me to tag them in this or to like mention them, but I'm not going to because I had a positive experience there before, so I'm not gonna do that. And so yeah, we all just got really tired and figured that nothing is gonna change, so we went back to the room and I went back to my bed, and I could not fall asleep all night. Literally, he did that for hours, and I like at one point I hit my hand against the rail and it didn't wake him up. Like or it didn't shake him out of whatever he was doing, whatever he was dreaming about. I don't want to know, but literally just that with the combination of the smell and his sounds and the vibration, y'all, like like remembering the vibrations, like y'all, I didn't feel in danger because there's other people in the room. People were aware of the situation, but it was just one of those experiences I don't want to experience again. And this poor guy, he just wanted to pleasure himself and have some fun. But it was to my night's expense. So yeah, if you ever watch this video, I hope you know I stayed up all night. I hope y'all enjoyed that video. I have links down below where you can follow me. If you'd like to get updated on when I post another video, make sure to subscribe. And if you've had any weird hostel experiences, you should definitely comment that down below, because for me, this was definitely a strange experience. Oh, and I forgot to mention, the next day I'm pretty sure a drug dealer stayed below me because he had a bunch of drugs out on the bed and he was taking pictures of them, and he rolled a joint in his bed, in his hostel bed. So cheers to that. Until next time.